What comes to mind when you think of Korea? If you're not sure, here are some fascinating facts about this rapidly developing nation that you can ponder. According to statistics, it's one of the world's safest countries, often ranking in the top 20 countries with the lowest crime rates. Furthermore, it has a significantly lower cost of living compared to the US and European countries. Public transportation, dining out, and healthcare are substantially cheaper. In this video, my friend Jaehong and I will be discussing a range of topics such as safety, cost of living, the pros and cons of living in Korea, to interesting places that tourists should visit while traveling in Korea, and what traditional Korean foods or drinks they should not pass up. Besides that, he and I will give our ideas and opinions about cultural differences between Korea and Western countries, the challenges we face while living in this country, and the general attitudes about therapy in this quickly evolving nation. Compared to the other interviews that I've done in the past, this one will be different because you'll be getting a first-hand perspective of a local here, a native Korean. Hi, this is Cynthia. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have my new friend here, Jaehong. So he agreed to do this wonderful interview. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Jaehong, and I'm working for an IT law firm in Korea, and I'm doing IT enforcement stuff. So I'm mostly going after the bad guys spreading fake goods here. And I'm 31 years, and I said that because I wanted to show which phase of my life I'm in right now.
Yeah, you're 31, so you still have like your whole life ahead of you. You're very lucky.
It's getting stressful. Can you tell us a little about yourself?
Okay. I'm an elementary school teacher. I teach grades 1 to 6. I've been living in Korea for quite a long time, so over 10 years. I've been learning Korean for quite a while, and I really enjoy living here, and I hope to live here permanently. So I'm trying to get long-term. Let's get into the question. So, number one, what is one interesting fact that most people don't know about Korea that you can tell us?
So I think most people already know that Korea is a very Confucianist society. So people want to live by the norms, and we're expected to live a certain way. But in fact, it is changing, and I believe most people are not really aware of that yet. So after COVID, the very Korean culture started to um, disappear, and we're not having that crazy pressure or expectation. I wouldn't say anymore, but it's not as hard as before. So we can talk about that later.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I noticed like nowadays, I think 1 out of 3 households is a single household. So I think the traditional Korean values of like the nuclear family have changed. People are more, I think, valuing their personal freedom and just their personal lives. So family isn't as important as it used to be. So it could be a good and bad thing, I think. So I think it's becoming more liberal, just like slowly Korean society.
Question number two. What are some places that you would recommend people planning to travel to Korea, Korea to visit and why?
I would recommend going to Han River Park. It's kind of a little oasis. So it's nature in the, big city. So in Seoul, you can ride a bike there, take a walk. You even can go camping there, play sports. Um, I feel like it's just amazing, like way to get fresh air, to see nature, but also within like the city environment. What about you?
I would recommend the Inwangsan Mountain. So it's right in the center of the old Seoul. So if you go up there, you can see the whole um, city view. view of the city, and it's not very. It's an easy hike, so it'll take about 2 hours. So it's perfect for a daytime activity.
I've never been there before. Oh, something new I learned today.
Yeah.
Is there a food that you would like to recommend to people traveling to Korea? Is there a traditional Korean food that you think that most people would enjoy?
Um, so I think if you want to really enjoy authentic Korean food and the Korean lifestyle, you should try makgeolli, which is like our wine with rice, because everyone is already familiar with soju, but makgeolli is not quite as popular among um, the foreigners. But I think it's actually better for some experience.
Is it like a strong kind of alcohol?
Not really, but I don't recommend drinking it too much because it's fermented. So you'll get a strong headache after you have it too much.
Okay. I would recommend people try jimda. So it's chicken cooked in soy sauce, and then there's potato noodles. Usually, you need to eat in a group, like at least have two people, so you have to share it. It's really spicy, so your spice tolerance, I think, should be high. You can eat it with rice too. It's I think one of my favorite Korean
Next
foods.
question. What is the best aspect of living in Korea?
The best aspect of living in Korea is how safe it is. You can be out on the street at 2 a.m. and be completely safe. Sometimes I would come home after going to a bar or club 2 a.m. or afterwards, and it would be fine. If I were to do this in Los Angeles, it would be kind of sketchy and dangerous. Here, the crime rate is very low and guns are banned. So it's definitely different than Western countries. So Korea is much safer than other countries. What do you think?
About the safety?
What is the best aspect of living in Korea for you?
So I agree with you on that. And another thing is the affordability. So I think I'm comparing the big cities or capitals mostly here, but I went to London last November. It was really expensive. Like I had a consulting friend was making a lot of money, and even a lawyer friend, but they had to share a flat with two or three different people. They don't know. And that sounded really insane to me because here, like the rents are going up, but still it is affordable. It stays on the affordable level, and you can maybe pick a cheaper neighborhood, but still the transportation is really good. So it'll take the same amount of time for you to go to work. That area might take 20 or 30 minutes more, and that's not a big deal. So it's much safer and more affordable, I guess. Most in Seoul.
For a studio apartment, I think you can also pay like rent for a month around 600,000 won, 700,000 won, and maybe like more richer upscale areas. So I think it is quite affordable. Definitely compared to California. In California, it's hard to survive um, on just like a average income. Uh, if I were to be a teacher in California, I probably would have to live with my family or find a room.
Right. We don't need to do
What is the worst aspect of living in Korea for you?
The worst aspect of living in Korea is, although earlier I said things have changed for the better a lot here, still, I feel, I sometimes feel the pressure to fit in and I need to catch up with everyone. So living by these expectations gets stressful sometimes.
Okay, for me, the worst aspect of living in Korea is there is this part of society where people don't like to confront problems and issues head on. They kind of go around in circles. So this is like with family, friends, and like at work. So people don't like to tell you directly things. So you have to kind of indirectly hint or kind of guess what people are thinking. So a lot of misunderstandings occur. So sometimes things just don't get addressed.
The next question is Korea has the highest suicide rate in the world. What do you think is the reason for this, and how can this be addressed?
Korea has the highest suicide rate, I think, because this culture doesn't really approve of you talking about your emotions. You should keep them inside. It's a very traditionally Asian kind of thinking where you're not allowed to talk about your emotions and you should not talk about your problems and should just keep them inside and bottle them up. So a lot of people don't know how to deal with or cope with some of their more negative emotions
Right.
or depressed kind of thoughts. So that's why therapy comes in and that's why it's important. Growing up, my family did not communicate a lot. We were very distant. My parents didn't really talk that much. So I kind of learned that kind of style of communication. So I do want to make a change. I do see a life coach and he's been helping me a lot. So it's about living a intentional life, being more proactive and just being more conscious of your thoughts and then having more positive thoughts that can help you. And then that leads to changing how you feel and then changing your actions. So you can change your programming.
Right.
You're not a product of your family or your upbringing. So you choose how you want to live, you choose how you want to feel. You're not a prisoner to your emotions or your thoughts.
Right. So, my response to this is actually, I've heard about this growing up ever since I was a child. And we have had the highest suicide rate in the world for almost decades now, I think. But the real problem is it can be part of our culture, like you said. And also, we do not have the awareness. So we all know that we have the highest suicide rate, but we treat it like it's something that is pretty minor. So we know about it, but not many of us, only just few of us, want to take action against it. So we need to change that part of our culture. But at the same time, we need to start talking more about it to address this.
So, like for you, your personal experience, do you feel uncomfortable talking about some of these like feelings that you could have uh with your family or friends?
With my parents, because I don't want to disappoint them. So I can't really open up. But I have a few friends that I can confide in. So yeah, I think I'm doing okay, but I'm not sure about other people because we don't really talk about our hardships unless we're super close. So we're all having our own struggle, I guess.
What is the general consensus about getting therapy in Korea?
So the general consensus about getting therapy in Korea is that um, people are not really aware of it and they don't want to, or they don't know it's a thing. So if I tell my friends I'm getting therapy, I'm not. Um, but they'll think I have a serious mental issue when it can just be pretty casual. So people will be worried about me first, and they don't know how to get therapy. So I want to get therapy at some point in my life, but I don't know where to find. But I think, but still, the society is changing for the better. So in 3 or 5 years, people's attitude or thoughts about therapy will have changed significantly, I think. What about you?
Uh, well, one issue I want to talk about is I think therapy is too expensive. It needs to be accessible for everyone. I know there's some type of health insurance that covers it, but I think it's not enough. It's not substantial enough. And I feel like it should be available just for regular people, not for people that have the means, like the financial means. And this is not just in Korea. This is like all over the world. Uh, so it should be just a regular part of like health insurance, like basic health insurance.
Next question. What is the biggest challenge you have faced in Korea and what have you done to overcome it?
Now, the biggest challenge I've had to face in Korea is learning Korean. I think having a high level of Korean is the key to integrating yourself in this society as a foreigner. And it's the difference between like just being on the outside looking in and then actually like being a part of yeah, this society. And it's like the basis for all interaction and communication. So in the beginning, I was a beginner and I wasn't able to communicate well. And that really limited my life. So the more Korean I've learned, the more I've been able to make friends, do simple tasks on my own, be more independent, um, make a life for myself. For me to live here permanently and get a long term visa, I need to improve my Korean skills. Then I can live here fully. Yeah. So live freely, speak to whoever I want, do whatever I want, travel wherever I want here. And I don't have to depend on other people. So that was a big problem for me before. I depended on like my Korean friends to help me. And I didn't feel fully independent. I felt kind of helpless. And that's not a good feeling when you're an adult. But I know your experience is different. So you're Korean. So what about you? What is the biggest challenge for you?
So I'm a native Korean. I lived in Northern Ireland for about 4.5 years as a child. And after I came back to Korea, of course, I had some difficulties adjusting to the culture here, but I'm okay with that now, I think. But right now, the biggest challenge I'm having at the moment is I feel stuck. I mean, like, so basically, if you want to get a job after a certain age, it gets very, very difficult. And what I want to do is I want to quit and go abroad and experience some other parts of the world. But if I do that, because I'm 31 now, I'm not sure if I can get a job ever here in Korea, get a decent job here because of the age culture.
There are age limits when you apply for a job.
They don't state it clearly, but we all know about it for a fact because of the age culture, my superior wouldn't want to work with me if I'm way older than him or her. So yeah, they will stop hiring me after I turn like 33 or 34. So I'm worried about it.
Oh, that's too bad because you're still young.
Yeah, I'm still young, but the society thinks I'm old.
What advice would you give to people as the key to being successful at learning Korean?
This is very complicated, but I want to talk about after you have achieved a certain level of proficiency, like after immediate level. I think the best way to impress and expand your vocabulary would be reading books because I know many Korean learners and they mostly learned Korean through their friends or through the media. So a lot of them kept struggling with difficult words or vocabulary that I think are really important to learn. more deeply about the language and the culture.
Thank you, Jaehong, for coming and answering all these questions. I really appreciate it. I wanted to share the Korean person's perspective on life in Korea, society here, and you really gave a lot of interesting ideas that we can think about. If you want to say any more words, please go ahead.
Thank you for having me here. And after I got some of the questions from Cynthia before this interview or before this discussion, um, I actually wanted to point out that the Korean society is thankfully changing for the better. So we still have a lot to change, a long way to go. But still, I'm pretty sure if you're interested, if you found this video interesting and come back or visit Korea for the first time, um, it'll be somewhat different to what you had thought about Korea before. So, yeah, I hope this change can keep happening. And thank you again for this arrangement.
He has a wonderful Korean food blog. So here, okay, you can subscribe to his blog. So I'll include a link here. Can you tell us about your blog a little bit?
So it's a Naver blog, and Naver is like our Korea's own Google. So everything I write, my blog is Korean, but at least you'll get an authentic food reviews from a native Korean. So if you're ever visiting Seoul or if you're already in Seoul, you'll find it interesting and informative, hopefully.
Okay, thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming. I appreciate it. If you would like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel, write a comment, or hit that like button. With the support of you, the public, I can make more informative and interesting videos like this.